Antoine Vermette, I want to start things off with your most famous goal in a Blackhawks sweater, Game 4, 2015 Western Conference Final against the Anaheim Ducks at the United Center. Can you take us back to that moment in double overtime and what you remember from it?
Yeah, absolutely. It was one of those moments. I mean, the timing of everything was everything. We look at the series was playing out. I mean, we were facing the Ducks, a really good team, tough opponent, coming back home. I think at the moment we're trailing in the series 2-1, and we have another facing in overtime. No, it's very tight on both sides. I remember that moment. It was good shift. We cycled the puck a little bit, and Sharpie made a great pass. Was coming back, high slot. The puck found me. Originally, I tried to shoot it on one spot, and I think one of their defensemen blocked it, and I stayed with it, and the puck was a little scrambly in front of the net. I ended up getting the puck back with a sharp angle on the side, and I banked it in, and that was a pretty intense moment, especially scoring that goal in Chicago. That was one of the best memory I could have.
You mentioned Patrick Sharp there. Also, you played with Teuvo Teravainen. That was the third line there for quite a while. Really picked up in that Anaheim series and went next level in the Stanley Cup final there against Tampa. What made that click? What made that group of you three click?
Yeah, we had a good chemistry. Great point. I mean, you're looking at the lineup. I think it speaks for the strength of our lineup, having these guys on that line. I think it was a great combination. We had speed, skill, and we can read off each other pretty well. We have a young, talented Teuvo coming up, try to make a name for himself, and Sharpie being in the league for such a long time, great veteran presence. I mean, just great players overall. So for me, it was a great fit, and it was such a fun time playing with these two guys. Very creative, talented, and fast.
You had a 3-game point streak during that series against Anaheim, and obviously you scored a couple huge goals against Tampa. Did you feel like at that point in the postseason you become fully comfortable or acclimated with the team? It seemed like you really got to that next step late in the postseason there.
Yeah, well, as we went, that's a good point. I mean, and I experienced a trade before in season, but that one was definitely a different situation where I knew coming in before the trade I was going to go to a team because it was well known. It wasn't hidden anywhere, and it was just like dragging, and it weighed on me for a little bit looking back. But I experienced before thinking. I had success right away and things clicked right away. So I was not taking lightly in the sense things will take care of itself, but it was an adjustment and I couldn't find my game right away, as quick as I wished. But I knew playoff, this is my chance. And definitely I thought we had the best team. And that was the moment in my career where this is it. This is a chance to win the cup. And I was really looking forward to the playoff to establish my game and have a more impactful position on the team. And you're right. I mean, this goal kind of led into a little more confidence, and we contributed to the team's success, and that was very helpful. We had a couple of games where we felt we were heading the right direction. But definitely when you can put some numbers and it makes a difference on the impact of the game, it's meaningful. And it was very helpful as we went on, and then we carried some momentum into the final, and definitely came at the right time.
Played a lot of playoff hockey in your career, 4 seasons in Ottawa, Columbus. I believe you actually were on the team in Phoenix to beat the Blackhawks in the postseason in 2012. That series always sticks out in my mind against Anaheim. It's one of the most fun series to watch. So competitive, back and forth to a Game 7. You had another deep run in the postseason in Ottawa, but where does that series kind of rank in your memory as another one?
It's way up there for a lot of reasons. For the game of the hockey itself, a great team going at it. We had that confidence. We were the better team, but with that being said, we knew we were facing a really hard opponent in the Ducks. very deep and a very strong opponent. So I think it was very fun for the fan watching it. That's definitely it. But playing it was great, especially when you're on the right side of it. And you can make easily the argument. I mean, obviously, without that series, the winning that one, we don't set up ourselves a chance to win it. That speaks for itself. But the level of the game and the intensity and how tight, how we came back and facing a tough situation, trailing 2-1, and you mentioned that goal came in an overtime. Last game in the home stand, going on the road for 3-1 deficit, facing a team like that, that's a totally different. So it was very slim. The margin of error was next to none, and it was very fun to watch how we gelled as a team and found ways to win and step up at key moments. But definitely one of the greatest. I mean, if you ask some of the guys I end up meeting down the road on the Duck side, they might say otherwise. I get it. But when you're on the winning side, I mean, that's definitely up there.
So you have 4 goals, 3 assists in the postseason. 3 of those goals came in that game you're mentioning, and 2 of them in the Stanley Cup final. But also, you were just a shade under 60% in the faceoff circle. How much pride and focus do you take in that as a center, and how important is it? Obviously, not to be to sound obvious here, but to win the draw, get possession right off the bat, a huge successful part of your game.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, I'd always take a lot of pride in it. And then going in the game, you always try to put your best foot forward to have an impact positive on your team and try to help your team. And that's one thing too. And I think it was magnified. I mean, everything it is in playoffs, don't get me wrong. But like, as you mentioned, I was probably putting my name on the scoring sheet, probably the second half a little more consistency on the score sheet. It's always rewarding. It's fun. But when you can touch different area of the game, you want to really, and it doesn't matter who score and who doesn't. I mean, at the end of the day, you want to help your team. If it's winning a face-off, block a shot, it sounds cliche, but it does make us. Everybody has a role, and especially when you don't have that touch that sometimes you get, and then. I was putting some pressure on myself to contribute offensively. But as I grew as a player, even in junior, I really want to try to, how can I be a better player? As you grow up, you're good, you're gifted, you score goals, you assist and all this. This is the fun part. It's always fun to score goals and everything, but as you go down, you go, how can I be better? Maybe I can do a little bit more of this, pay attention in my own zone a little bit, be facing a better opponent, and you try to, complement your game a little bit. And to come back to your point, face off, as I grew, I thought, it's very helpful. You start with the puck or you're chasing it pretty much. So I didn't know the numbers, the stats you mentioned. But as soon as we, we're facing an opponent, you try to win the first battle, and face-off is the first one.
Antoine Vermette, the double overtime hero, Game 4, 2015, against the Anaheim Ducks in the Western Conference Final. Great to catch up with you. Great chatting. Nice to see you.
Thank you. Great to see you.